Okay, everyone, welcome to the show. Me and the dog are here to teach you about the thrilling topic of real estate and specifically cash, cash money. We're going to talk about cash money buyers and do they, where do they stand right now? Like, do they have a lot of leverage? Do they not? That's what we're going to get into. Subscribing to the channel would be appreciated. Some people are very offended when I say that because they're like, this is my first video. I can't believe you're asking me to subscribe to this. I don't even know if I like you yet. You probably don't, but I would still appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel, maybe drop a comment, or don't. If it makes you unhappy to subscribe to our channel, you should definitely not do that. But if you're neutral, then yeah, fuck yeah, man, send it, subscribe. So do cash buyers really matter? So the answer is it has changed quite a bit. If we go back in time, 6 months from now, so let's just call it early 2022 and all through 2021 and some of 2020, they did have quite a bit of appeal and leverage and advantage on their side. The reason for that is because they had the ability, if we sort of distill it down to, well, what is the main appeal of a cash buyer? It's that they can waive contingencies. So they can throw out a price and it doesn't matter. They can be like, well, I don't care if we do an inspection. I don't care if we get an appraisal. Doesn't matter. Like, I'm offering cash. We can close on this deal in a week. And all the risk is, there's no real risk to the seller. So if we, again, go back to, 2021, for example, no, thank you. No, thank you. I don't need that. There was a lot of multiple offer scenarios, right? And it was very, very tough to stand out when there's 10 offers frequently on a house. So what's one way that you can do that? If you have the ability to be a cash buyer, you can say, hey, our offer, which is 50 grand over the asking price. Now that may sound ridiculous, and it is and was, but that was very, very common, right? You would have the ability, a lot of people would say, hey, we're gonna offer you 50 grand over, and we don't need to do an inspection. I've seen it with my eyeballs. Looks like it's a pretty good house. We don't need to do an appraisal because there's no loan. So if your house is worth 50 grand less than we're asking, which is probably accurate, doesn't matter. There's no risk to you. So right now I'll pay you $50,000 over your ask price, which might be $50,000 too much. And there's no risk to you, Mr. Seller, because I don't have a bank determining if they're going to do this deal or not. So they had a lot of leverage, right? And that's how a lot of people got sort of, just kind of priced out, but just they weren't getting offers accepted because they were like, well, I got to do a loan. This guy doesn't. He can do whatever the hell he wants. It's a Wild West for that guy. Right now, in a more of a balanced and in some cases even a more of a buyer-oriented market, the cash buyers lost some of their, not appeal, but some of their power. Why? Because in this more balanced market right now, there's not a lot of multiple offers that are happening. Occasionally, but even if there's multiple offers, it's not like multiple offers where there's 10 offers and they're going 50 grand above. So you're like, hey, there's 2 offers. One of them's at the listing price. So maybe if you go in like 5 grand over the listing price, you're good to go. Well, for most people, you don't need to be a cash buyer in order to do that. So they have lost some of their influence over the market right now because they're not needed. They're just not needed because it's not nearly as competitive as it was. And for me and my perspective, that's a good thing. The reason it's good is because it's allowing a lot of normal everyday people to compete again and say, hey, well, I'm not a cash buyer. I don't have an extra 20 grand to give you risk-free. It's like, no, the house has to appraise and I'm going to give you what it's worth. That's where we want to be. That's a good, healthy market. We were in unhealthy territory. So, that's the deal, guys. That's pretty much it. Quick bourbon thing. I think I'm going to crack this tonight. I'm making this video on Labor Day, and it's 5:35 right now, so that tells you how thrilling my social life is. And I think I'm going to crack this Bardstown Fusion series tonight. I am actually going to the Kentucky Bourbon Trail in about sometime soonish. And Bardstown is one of the distilleries that I'm going to be hitting. They have their Fusion series and they have their Discovery series. I've never had either. I've had this for, I don't know, maybe 2-3 months or something. I just haven't cracked it yet because there's a bit of a backlog. So I'm going to crack that, see how it is. That way, if I go to the distillery and they have it and it's awesome, I know to get more of it, right? So So that's what we're going to be doing tonight. And I got a nice T-bone steak. So it's going to be a nice bottle of bourbon with a really good steak. And I got some potatoes I'm going to make. It's going to be great. You guys don't give a shit about that. I'm sorry for wasting your time. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys need real estate help, let us know. I'm based in Utah, but we've got a lot of different, business that we do outside of the state. So if you need real estate help pretty much wherever you are in the U.S., just let us know. Or Paris. We got an agent we know in Paris now. So hope you guys are doing good. We'll see you next time.